The experience has been great at Lovely Professional University. I've been here for the past 5.5 years. If you look at the way the entire world is moving around, whether you're talking about geopolitics, you're talking about the environment, you're talking about the economy, sustainability is the key. And the organizations which are imbibing these sustainable, you can say the concepts or the policies in their policy making are the ones who are going to be there in the long run. And when we talk about the young professionals, they have to be very well aware and well read about things like climate change. Like if I talk about climate change, the Paris Accord 2015 plays a very major role. Of course, the Glasgow thing is also there, but the 2015 has got a much wider impact. Right now, the wars that are happening, just not about the Ukraine-Russia war. Of course, that's a major thing, the Israel-Palestine thing that is happening. Now, all these things will have an impact on the business and the sustainability. You have got companies like Tesla. They thought ahead of themselves and they came up with an electric vehicle. So now that is, of course, you can always have the other side of it saying that are those batteries sustainable? So that's a different debate that is to be there. So for the young professionals, they have to be very well read, well aware, and they have to keep their ears to the ground to understand what is happening, and that is how you move forward. Though I'm a teacher of economics and I teach economics here, and to my master's students, especially the business students, I teach them managerial economics, and I teach them data analysis. So whenever we are talking about, say, data analysis, what I try to do is I try to bring in those companies in my the real data of who are more inclusive in nature. Like, I'll give you an example. Like Starbucks, they went off with, like, they got a lot of flack for this as well. You know, they went with this pink week that I was talking about. They came out with ads, and later on they were just ads. And there have been videos on the social media which showed that the employees there were not inclusive, like they were differentiating the customers. They got a lot of flack for it. Now, but it's such a big name. So when you bring these instances in your data analysis, or when you're talking about macroeconomics in your managerial economics class, so that is when you start talking to students about these things. Like in my classes, a lot of debates and discussions happen on inclusion. You need to start from basic banking, basic accounting, basic auditing, basic laws. If you understand these things, then you understand cryptocurrency, you understand digital currency, you understand the various apps that you have. You can talk about all these things, but you have to be very, very clear that if I go and open a savings bank account in any of the banks, how much is the bank? Are there any hidden costs to it? If I'm using a lot of if I'm in a day, I make 10 transactions on UPI of 10 rupees each, how does that reflect on my account? Is it a good thing? Are there any hidden charges to it? Is it safe? Is it secure? Because again, this is all digital. So is it secure? So all those things have to be known, because Gen Z is very good at using these, but generally they are not very well aware of about the laws, what are there, and the things that are at the back end. So I suppose if you understand the basics of accountancy, basics of banking, basic of law, I think so your life is sorted. When I came here, when I joined here in 2018, the number of shops allowing UPI payment were very less, though they had that. But they were not telling us, showing us the barcode, because, and when I spoke to them, I said, you know, it's much easier for me rather than carrying cash. They said, no, then my everything becomes visible, government comes to know. So again, there are a lot of misconceptions on their part as well, but because right now they are not being charged, they won't charge you. I don't see much challenges, because again, like the government is all out to help the entrepreneurs. If you look at the MSME, the type of schemes that are there for the MSME sectors, and again, if I talk about women entrepreneurs, the government is doing a lot on its part. The only thing, and again, like technology is there for us to grab and use, but somewhere like if you've been following the current news, Google has banned 10 of our companies because of the apps are there. Now, what I might digress from what you are asking me, but I would want the Gen Z to come up with technology which is very Indian, where we have a counter to Google, like what China and Russia has. Yeah, you have your own. You need not ask Google. You need not ask a minister to go and talk on our behalf to Google. Let's have it. Let's make our own things. And we are a big company and we are exporting so many IT professionals. Why not use them for making something for our own country? You know, that is a very colonial mindset that we have. कि यदि गोरा है तो अच्छा है. So that colonial mindset is there with brands as well. One, I think so, we Indians, even with the Gen Z and all these new ones, when I talk to them, they are a bit hesitant to take risks. And when you read the cases from America and you find all these new, like in America, it is possible for a person, 18-year-old, to become a millionaire and a billionaire in the next 10 years. In India, we hear very less stories like that. The reason is that we have been conditioned in such a way that we do not take risks. We are not very risk-loving people. So we are risk-averse. One, I think so, is that. And coming to your that why is Google, one, as I said, that's a very colonial mindset that we have. And secondly, we need to scale up to that level. Of course, now with the government talking a lot about Bharat and talking about the Indianness, I don't know how much we'll succeed in that, like whether it's just the jargonism that is going on or really something will happen on the ground. We don't know. The time will tell us. But I think so. We can have a credible thing, but somewhere the institutions that we have are not apolitical. So when your institutions are not apolitical, somebody comes in, like you have got a lot of crony capitalism in India. So something like Paytm comes in and the Prime Minister vouches for it, and after 5 years down the line, it's down there. So somewhere I think so it's something has to be to do with their institutions. I think so if you have got very clear, you have got institutions which are very clear in the sense that they will they have the same yardstick for everybody. I think so it becomes very, you know that you have to struggle at the initial level to start a company, but then it's all fine. So I think so if we do that, we can any day give a run for money to Google.